Welcome back to the Football Exponential Show. I'm Chika, and today I'm joined by Frank
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the show.
and then Kingsley.
Hey team, it's good to be on another episode of the show. Welcome, guys.
Yeah,
Okay. Frank, how is your day going?
it's okay. It's okay. It's been a nice warm day over here, so we're always happy for that because we don't know how many of those we're gonna get. So it's been a good day.
I'm sorry for keeping you late, Sibena. I
Uh, it's,
apologize.
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. How about you? How about you? How you doing?
I'm fine, I'm fine. It's just the sun is so hot today.
Yeah, I
I
know. I know.
hope
I
it's
know. I know.
better.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
But I'd rather have it than the winter. Kingsley, what of you?
Well, we never get shy of winter here, but I'm happy to get as much sun as possible. The weather is, like Frank mentioned, the weather is bright, and if time is not taken, you can end up putting on a sunshade in your house because it's so bright, but it's good. It's good. I can't complain.
Okay. So let's go. Are you guys ready?
Wait,
Let's
are
go.
you representing Newcastle today?
The Tin Army. I'm a
Representing
football,
Newcastle today?
I'm a
Okay.
football
Okay. I
fan. That's
see
what
you. I
I'm
see you.
saying.
You're a football
That's
fan.
all I can. Yeah, I'm a football
Okay.
fan.
Okay. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So let's dive in. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's dive in. Today we'll be previewing the top four teams that finished top four last season in the Premier League. Um, and we're talking about their dealings in the transfer window, and then how better off are they compared to last season, and where you see them. Do you see them replicating whatever they've done? Where do you see them finishing this season? And then what are your reasons for that? Let's start with the champions, the three times champions, and they could be four times by the end of next season. Manchester
Okay.
City. So, Frank, what do you think about Manchester City?
Um, Manchester City, they are obviously defending champions. They've won it 4 times in a row historically, and they are going for their fifth consecutive title. It's as always with I think with them, they've been very quiet in the transfer window. I think there's not been a lot of noise around incoming transfers. It seems a very calm and calm camp, but it's always that with Guardiola and Man City. They're very well run. They're very well set. But in terms of transfer delays, they've only brought in one player so far, and that's Brazilian winger Savinho, and he's very from the little we've seen of him so far in the Community Shield and a little bit when he was on loan last season in Spain. He's a very exciting prospect. He claims or he says he admires Riyad Mahrez, which is also interesting because he's taking up Riyad Mahrez's old squad number, the number 26. He's a
Yeah.
very direct, fast player, and I think he's going to bring a lot more dynamic actions to Man City's wing play, and then provides more opportunities for Foden to come in field and play in his favorite position, just behind the striker, playing in the pockets with Kevin De Bruyne, if fitness allows. And I think it's because I saw how him and Oscar Bob, how they played in the Community Shield, not together, but how they operated together in the Community Shield against United. It reminded me of the flying wingers in the 17-18 season, Sterling and Leroy Sané, where they were very direct. There was a lot of pace. They could stretch. They were stretching defenders. They very good at dribbling, and they also contributed in terms of goal scoring. I think that's one aspect City have probably lacked in the last few years. That X factor from their wing players. It's been quite predictable with the likes of Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva to an extent, but I think with Savinho and Doku on the wings, they are very scary prospects.
Where do you see them finishing?
Finishing, I think City. I, I see them ultimately winning the title, but I think with them and especially with the coach Guardiola, it's not necessarily who wins it, but it's if I'm going to win it, how am I going to win it? Is it going to be a tightly fought by its battle like it's been in the last few years, the last couple of years with Arsenal, and in the past with Liverpool. So I expect Arsenal to be their main challenger this season. But I think Man City are going to have an easier route to the title this season than they've had in a long time. And I think with Guardiola, I think that kind of ease at which he wins his championships is what he. I think that might he might not like it because I think Guardiola shines best when he has that challenge on the other side, where he beats Jose Mourinho, beats Jurgen Klopp, where he knows that he has to be 100%, if not 110% week in week out. It still have to be 110% week in week out, and it might get to a point where I think they might start off they normally start off very slowly, but I think once they pick up steam and I think they're gonna run it over. And it's also important to note, reports out today, Oscar Bob has significantly injured himself. I think he has a
Yeah,
broken
fractured.
foot or broken leg.
Jesus.
So I think I don't know if that's gonna impact that transfer dealings at the minute, but he was one of the players I was looking forward to watch this
Oh
season.
my God.
He's looked
Oh.
promising all preseason. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a shame. It's a shame.
Kingsley, what of you? I wish you quick recovery. Kingsley, what of you?
Yeah, I do agree with a few things that Frank mentioned in his roundup. I do agree that City will be champions, but I don't think they'll be runaway champions. I feel like the squad has lacked the depth of quality players that we've come to know of City, at least in the last couple of years, aside from last season. And on top of that, they haven't strengthened. Like for me, I don't think a player like Jack Grealish, a player like Kovacic, etc., would match up to the quality of other first team players that they have in the squad. And I was hoping that at some point in the transfer market they would be rejuvenating the club with some competitions for each players there. But on the other side, if you think about it, also they've lost quality striker in Julian Alvarez. What happens when Helen Haaland is injured? And also, if you think about it, I don't think they have the wingers this season to score a lot of goals. So where does the goal come from? Like typically in previous seasons where they've had better campaign, you've had like wingers flying through with goals like Sterling, like Sane, etc. But you're not going to have that this year. I don't see Doku giving you more than 10 goals in the season. I don't see any of the other wingers actually chiming in with a lot of goals. And we all know that at some point in the season, Erling Haaland will be out. So where would the goals come from? De Bruyne fitness is also going to be an issue. Um, Overall creativity would still be there with the likes of Foden, etc. But what happens, even right now, what happens if Foden is injured? So I feel like generally the squad depth that we've come very comfortable with when you think of Man City, it might be there at the back, it might be there on other part of the pitch, but I don't see that in the center forward position, and I don't see that goals coming in from this flank. That is where I'm most worried for Man City. In addition to that, so I watched Sevilla quite some games last season while he was tearing things up at Girona. He's the closest thing I've seen to Mahrez in a while. So I'm excited to see how he would how he would cope in the Premier League, given the fact that um, these days other squad have strengthened their fullback positions, right? And then they've also learned to use CDMs to cover up for fullbacks when they attack. So I really want to see how Sevilla is going to do with that level of challenge, right? And Oscar Bob injury to Man City, it's huge, just because of how integral he has been to their preseason preparation. And you can tell, like, if you follow Guardiola closely, you can tell the players that he wants to unleash at every season. He starts to really get his thing for them. Um, at preseason, and I was really hoping to see more of Oscar Bob. The good thing is that it's a broken bone in one of his feet, so they're saying he's going to be out for maybe 6, 7 weeks TBD. So he will be back at the time when Man City typically picks up this team in their Premier League campaign. But other than that, it's I see a less than five, maybe at most 6 points difference when they lift the title, but ultimately they would be the Premier League champion.
Okay. Left to me. Um, First of all, I'll start with the end before the beginning. I expect them to win the league. I don't think it will be a comfortable win, but I expect them to win the league. That's one. Then what are the changes? Do I like their transfer market dealings? Recently, they've not been rushing to buy players. They've been taking their time and they've been buying the players they really, really need. Some of them don't work, like the Nunes they got from, I think, Wolves. He's yet to settle. Kovacic did not settle immediately, but he has proven he's needed. Now, this is what I expect to happen this season with City. I expect this to be the last season. Kyle Walker is going to be a regular starter. Rico Lewis is going to gradually, towards the end of the season, might take over from next season to be because
Yeah,
they might phase him out. Guardia is going to get better this season. I expect him to get much more better this
yeah,
season. That's
that's true.
their
That's true.
center back, Diaz, and all those. They are good, right? Kovacic is still going to be Kovacic if he stays fit. I don't think, but he's gonna play some games. Nunes, the Wolverhampton Wanderers player, former player. I don't expect much from him. I don't think he can get better, but I'm not putting my head for him. I don't know for him. Doku is going to get better, but the problem with Doku is I saw Doku at the Euro. That was the Euro that they played all over Europe. Which year was that? It
That
was
was
all
2000
over Europe.
and I think 2001.
I think
Yeah,
it's
he played so.
2002 actually.
2002?
I think
No,
so.
no, it was. I've forgotten that. No, it was the one that Italy won. That Italy beat England. The
No,
final
I
was
think
in
it's,
Yes,
was it
I think yeah, I think it's 2001.
2022
Yeah,
or
No, it
2021
can't be
rather.
2000, 2021. It's gonna be 2020 something, not 2000 and something. It's gonna be
Yeah, and it's
2020,
2021 or 2022.
2021
Yeah,
or
I can't
something.
remember
Because it
exactly.
wasn't held that year. Yes, it was 2020. Then it was held in 2021. I watched Doku in
yeah,
that Euro some few minutes. I was so impressed. He fizzled that I didn't know him again till Rennes. The same guy I'm watching today is showing me the same vibe he was showing me at the Euros. Productive wise, he's not giving me anything extra. It's still the same thing. So I don't think I will judge him with his goals. I think he's just going to play the good game. Grealish, I don't know. He might be on a decline. Then Sevino or whatever, he's going to play. Haaland is going to play. Foden is going to get better. I expect them to sign another offensive player. I don't think they will leave Julian Alvarez that way. I think they will go for before the end of the season. It might not be like for like, it might not be as good as Alvarez, but they will sign someone. Now I'm hearing Oscar Bob. Now James McCarthy or whatever, and then Nico O'Reilly. The good thing with City that I feel that they will not comfortably retain the title, but they will retain the title is that they have the big players. Then I forgot Akonji over there. He doesn't do much. He keeps the ball, he keeps possession and all those. But the good thing with City is that whenever they call these young boys to the first team, they play very, very well. They had
yeah,
something Delap that was a striker. I think Rory Delap's son. I think it's the
yeah.
son of the
Liam,
Delap,
yeah,
the
yeah,
one.
yeah. Liam,
He was
Liam,
he's a
Liam
striker.
Delap.
I think they sold him finally, but he did so well in the cup competitions when he played. So I think
Yeah,
he is a master in mixing experience with young guys. That he mixes it up. That even the young player plays exceptionally well. You understand what I'm trying to say? So
yeah,
I
exactly.
expect
Yeah,
them to win the league. I expect them to win it for the fourth
yeah.
time. Then they still look at the goalkeeper. They have two of them, and Liverpool have two of the first and two goalkeepers, Ortega and then Edison, two very goalkeepers. So let's move over to the next one.
But
Let's go to
this,
Arsenal. Yeah.
but I think before we move on from City, I think it's we have to acknowledge the importance of Rodri, and I think that might be the real issue in terms of them retaining the league. His presence
No,
or his absence can really
except his
affect Man
injury.
City.
I
But
don't see his standard dropping. I
no,
don't see
it's
his.
not necessarily this time because last season, I think they lost about most of the games they lost last season or the games Rodri didn't play in. So
Yeah,
I think it's going to be
I agree with
interesting to
you.
see how. But I think Pep is a master solution finder. I think he has his solutions or remedies for that situation if it arises in mind already.
That's why
Yeah,
till today. That's why till today. I keep telling people that I'm not a Foden guy, but at the same time, I think I can still be objective. When they said Foden was the best player, when Rodri doesn't play in that city, their standard drops like it just. I'm not saying Foden is not good, but you could get someone to play that role Foden is playing. But when Rodri
Yeah,
doesn't play that city,
his
the standard just went very, very down because
it's
they don't
it's
have
yeah,
anybody
very
to.
It's very typical of Guardiola team, let's be honest. I mean, all the praises to Rodri is well deserving, but if you think about it, the core Guardiola team for Barcelona, when Busquets was out, you could feel the impact even as of the
Yeah.
time when Toure still played for Barcelona. If you think of the Bayern Munich
Philip Lam,
team as well,
Philip Lam,
yeah,
yeah, was so
yes,
important.
once as well, you can feel the difference. There's a lot of responsibility for that sitting midfielder, and the funny thing is that you would always imagine that the sitting midfielder wouldn't offer much going forward, but that is not true. They actually start most of the attacks.
That's
So,
that's the
so,
first.
so
That's the second
And
playmaker.
and funny enough,
exactly.
if you watch Nunes, what he did for Wolves was almost what Rodri was doing. I think they what they looked at, the analytics guys, they looked at line for line for what I don't know how he just failed massively. Like he was
Yeah,
No,
so
the
but
funny thing is
us.
like moving from Wolves to Man City is such a huge jump. Let's be realistic,
Yeah,
right? Uh,
I think it
uh,
probably will take a while to get used to
exactly,
Guardiola's to get on the same sheet, him sheet with Guardiola as well. So most of the
exactly.
signings they take a like Rodri himself, it took a
Rodri
while for him
wasn't
to
an
get
instant
going.
hit.
took him
It
a
wasn't
while.
Exactly.
an instant hit. It took him
Because
about
they
So I
wanted
think
to
it's
get Rodri, then they went for
yeah,
yeah,
Rodri.
excuse me. It took him
And
about
he
two,
moved
three seasons to get there.
only one season at
yeah,
Atletico and he moved. Okay,
yeah.
let's go to Arsenal. Frank, what do you think about Arsenal?
Arsenal, the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Mhm.
It's this is Arteta's this is fifth full season. And it's been interesting to see like he's been talking a lot about how close or how Arsenal are already there. How in terms of if you look at all the metrics that he used to judge a very good team like Arsenal had all the metrics for them last season going in favor in terms of goals against, shots faced, possessions, pressing, all the data suggests Arsenal, if not the best team in the league, or certainly the second best team in the league. And I think us with Arsenal, they're very he's a manager that's built his defense, he's built his team from the back going forward in terms of recruiting the right goalkeepers first. They've tried different. I think so far in his tenure, they've tried about four goalkeepers to see who's really the guy that can take them to the next level. And ultimately, he settled with David Raya, who's moved who's moved permanently now to Arsenal. And their second actual, or their only actual transfer this season was Italian defender Calafiori from Bologna. And it's going to be interesting to see what role he comes into the team to fulfill. Is he going to be a backup for one of the two centre backs? Because I think in terms of matches played, they were ever present for Arsenal last season. So I don't know if he's going to come in as cover or he's going to play as a left back, investing into midfield, or play probably in midfield as well with along with Declan Rice. But with Arsenal, I think it's because notably there was a period last season just before there was before the there was mid before there was like before the midway through the season where they had I think they lost 3 games in a row where they didn't score a lot of goals. I think they had about 19 shots on target in total within that's 3 game spell, but they scored only 1 goal. And the question was heading towards the January window was to Arsenal need a striker to take them over the line. Well, coming back from their mid tour in from Dubai, they came back and they started scoring the goals. Kai Havertz especially found his form again. I think his Kai Havertz, Rice, Saka, and Trossard. I think their forms was the last part of the season pushed Arsenal as far as they could go. Ultimately, Arsenal won 16 out of 18 games in the
Yeah.
second half of the season. Had they won 17 of those games instead of 16, they would have been champions. So I think that's how close Arsenal were last season. So it's good. So now they find themselves in this unique situation where they're trying to improve the team, but to improve a team that's already this good, you need the next level players. You need the X factor players coming to the team that takes you that to elevate everyone's level. So like strikers or players like Ozil or Sanchez back way back when they came to Arsenal had that significant improvement on the whole team and the kind of confidence it gives their teammates as well having clinical and very productive players like that. Questions will be asked again. This is about Kai Havertz if he can lead the line as the number 9, and on the left wing the options on the left wing are quite not convincing, but questions will be asked again about Martinelli. I think Saka, Odegaard, Rice. That'll be that driving force towards another title challenge. But I think ultimately they might just fall just short. when going against Man City, in my opinion.
Okay, that's what of you.
Um, so for Arsenal, I'm very confident with their defense. I think they might concede one of the least number of goals this season. At least I anticipate that. But I'm not very confident about the number nine position for Arsenal. I'm still in shock why they haven't strengthened that position. I mean, Jesus is not a striker to lead you for a title challenge of this magnitude. Nketiah for some reason always looks like just reminds me of those players that would always feel like upcoming, but they never get there. And he's not such a young lad anymore, right? So he should be making a mark in this kind of team, but it's not happening. I feel like if Trossard has more opportunities this season, it could make a difference. It would not be an outright start for Martinelli this season if Arsenal wants to keep it fresh and competitive on that flank. But overall, I think they will come just slightly behind Man City, and for a couple of reasons. They would leak a fewer number of goals behind, but I don't think they will score enough goals to if it comes to that, I don't think they will score more goals than City, despite the drop in attacking power from City this campaign. But another thing to keep in mind is why we're an Arsenal player, the psychology, um, like keeping the team fresh and hungry should be something that Arteta may need to work a little harder on. I see something very similar to what we had with the near success team of Spurs. I mean, the Pochettino's Spurs, where every year it feels like they're getting close until they never got it. So these things kind of play in the mind of footballers. It might be the last season was Arsenal hitting the height curve, meaning that they've gotten to their apex, and now we might be looking at a season that might yield diminishing return, if you ask me, because those players might not have that drive. For me, I feel like if Arsenal don't win serious titles this year, a lot of the big players will start to consider other options, and it might need a review because again. Um, there might be consequences for getting close and not lifting the title. Um, but again, we still have a few more days to do transfer market shutting down. It's very strange
Hmm.
this window what has happened with most EPL teams. But I'm still hopeful that we'll see a little more movement in the next couple of weeks. And I expect some reinforcement in terms of attack for Arsenal and maybe another midfielder to cover in for Declan Rice whenever he has. I mean, Thomas Partey is there, but there's a big but there. But you need another kind of quality midfielder to cover in for Declan Rice or give him that push to say the least. And then you need a clear number nine that is going to lead your attack and finish chances. And that in itself can elevate Arsenal chances if they are aggressive.
Okay. For me, I'll start with the ending. I don't think they'll win the title. They should finish second. And the number one reason why I don't think they will win the title is Arteta is not that man.
Really?
I've always told you. No, this is why. Hold on. I don't. I don't want to sound harsh, but when people always want to say at the Arsenal way, I find it offensive. This is why. Yes, I like the way he's building the team. He knows how to build the team. It's sustainable, yes. But the problem I'm having is at the same time, I would rather have someone who builds and wins than somebody who just continues to build. And this is why. I'll give you a list. Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, Partey, Havertz, Raya, Jorginho, Trossard. These players were signed in times that they say, oh, Arsenal just need one more player. Rice, oh, one more player. This, one more. They just need the keeper to complete. Every time they need the left back, they need this. Now, the team wasn't complete when they had Ben White, William, Gabriel, Lewis, yeah. But the team is almost complete. They will tell you, oh, Havertz, he's the missing jigsaw. This person, this person. They keep buying. And now, when you look at it now, this is why I find it, people are not really being critical. Smith Rowe was their most expensive sale after Oxlade Chamberlain. That means they don't sell their players. That means he always
Yeah,
buys, keeps. You understand what I'm saying? He
he
buys a lot
doesn't. He
of players.
doesn't. He doesn't
He
rotate
doesn't ship
enough.
them
Yeah, I
out.
agree.
Tomiyasu is still in the team till today. Reece Nelson, I don't know if he's still there. He keeps a lot of players he should have discarded. Discard them and make some money. He doesn't. How many academy players have they had over the years? I can't remember one. It's not like other teams. You can criticize Ten Hag all you want. and I criticize him also. But one thing I give to him is at least I see him bringing. He had is it Kumbaya or something? The
Kum,
Congolese
Kambula.
Kambula.
Kumbula,
Kambula.
yeah.
At least I'm seeing players he's bringing from the academy. I saw Garnacho. It's not the same thing with Arsenal. He plays, he's ready to win now, kind of football. And at the same time, he hasn't won. Arteta has been there for 5 years or whatever. He won the FA Cup in his first season, yes. But ever since in the Europa League, he didn't even get to the final. He was eliminated by Unai Emery in the Europa League. All the Europa League he participated, he didn't go far. In the Champions League, Bayern Munich eliminates him. I understand Bayern Munich should eliminate him. I understand he's a bigger club. But all I'm trying to say is that he has not shown me he's the kind of manager that will win titles for me. That's personal. Sometimes managers prove you wrong. The former manager of AC Milan, what's his name that they just sacked or they didn't renew his contract?
Stefano Pioli.
Pioli, yeah, he was like that till he won the title and he convinced me. And the Atlanta coach Gasperini, he was doing good in Genoa. Then Inter Milan got him, he messed up. Sometimes it takes them time to win. Ateta can win, but if I'm asked now this season, if he doesn't win this season, I understand there's some context. I'm looking for someone to win with this squad. This squad is
Okay,
ready to
but
win
wait,
right
but no, but I
now.
think like you said a lot, but I think there's some parts I agree with, but I also think there's some parts that need to be that needs a bit more nuance and a bit more context because you say okay, Arsenal they've not quite won the Premier League or they've not won a big trophy yet,
Yeah,
but the fact that if you look at destination of travel from where they came or the club Arteta inherited
yeah.
about 5 or 4 seasons ago. It was a club in mess. There was big. There were fractions in the club. There was a civil war going between those who wanted Arsene Wenger out, those who wanted Arsene Wenger in.
No, no,
When
no.
Emery came,
Let me correct you. I've told you over
yeah,
and over again, and I'll repeat it several times, and I'll stand by it. I told you it was a mistake sacking Unai Emery. I've said it over and over again. I wouldn't have sacked. I'm not
yeah, I
comparing the
understand.
two.
Yeah, I understand. No, I
I
understand.
feel like I always tell you, like Chelsea also, I'm not going to blame the coach. Whoever was building the squad, I feel didn't do a good job under Emery.
In getting,
Maybe
in getting,
Ateta came in. Yeah, but
I agree, I
I've
agree.
seen Emery win trophies. I don't think Ateta is that man. It's subjective. Don't get me wrong. He
Okay,
might
but
prove
what if
it
I tell
right.
you? Okay,
Yeah.
but what if I tell you? Okay, Arsenal last season they got a record number of wins in the Premier League history, 28 wins, and
In
Yeah.
their Premier League
they
history.
scored yeah
Yeah.
for Arsenal's history. They scored
Yeah.
Yeah.
91 goals. That's a club record as well last season
Mm-hmm.
in the Premier League. So it's not like a Tottenham team like we said Tottenham team was stable, wasn't close. Tottenham they had a season where Leicester won it. They were in the title race. They ultimately lost to Leicester, and there was period they lost to Chelsea's contest Chelsea. But I think with Man City, like you can't you're going against the best. You're going against the best in terms of class, in terms of the coaching. They have the players, they have the financial abilities they have, whether it's what's what's legal and what's illegal these days in terms of financial regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like we've seen with Liverpool, like we saw how hard Liverpool fought to just wrestle one title off Man City. It's not. I think we always have to press that point. Like we're not going against any other team because back in the days, if you get close to 85, 87 points, you win the title easy. But these days, you have to get just past 92, 93. Sometimes you get to 92 and and you don't win it. And we Arsenal, this is Arsenal's last 2 seasons points total. That would have been enough to see them be champions in numerous seasons in the past, especially during the Fergie years. But I understand those are the old days. This is the new days. But it's not quite. I think they are there, but I just think you're going up against. It's like David going up against Goliath.
But you know,
It's
If it was Barcelona or Real Madrid, he would have been gone a long time ago.
um I know, but also you have to look at the club. I
David just
feel
won
I
the
think
league title and they kicked him out.
yeah, I know, I understand that point, which is fair. But also, I think you look at the state of which Arsenal as a football club is. There's harmony in the club. The fans, they love going. With this, I think you stadium, the atmosphere in the stadium has
But
improved a lot.
this is where I'm saying I should be looking at. I'm not saying you should sack the manager, but it's going to be an option for me if I'm an executive. This is why I don't want the players to start feeling like I'm not gonna win in this team. It gets to a point where the players start thinking this team is not going to win. I'd rather go outside with the likes. I know they have long contracts, don't get me wrong. Yes, but also even with a long contract, when he starts flirting with certain clubs, he starts thinking Isaka
Yeah,
or Odegaard or Saliba goes this season, doesn't win, does another season again. He starts thinking, man, you understand
yeah,
what I'm
no,
trying to say?
Yeah,
yeah, it's true.
That's all I'm just saying.
I agree with the
Think
both
so.
of you partly. Just something to put in the mix here. If I were in the Arsenal leadership team or management team, this is the season for me to go sign a proper number nine. This is the season for me to either promote a player that will be on the shadows of Declan Rice or at least buy a prospect in that position. Because again, like you mentioned, Chica, a few times you've always been like Arsenal just needs this missing piece, Arsenal just needs this missing piece. But what I think is going on is that Arsenal are not looking at their competitors in the likes of Man City and Liverpool and saying, yes, this is an opportunity for me to tie the
if
knots and
if I'm
go.
Arsenal, I'm selling anybody except Saka, Saliba, and Odegaard to get Isak. I'm paying 160 million. I'm paying 170. I'm getting Isak. I'm to be my number nine. I'm getting him now because Isak
Yeah,
plays like
true.
a winger who
Yeah,
is like
that's
I'm selling anybody it is for me to get because it's difficult to get a true number nine who sometimes you are not sure. But Isak, I have a problem with his injury record. Apart from that, if he stays fit, I'm getting him to put to rest all this. All
So
this guy,
the interesting
yeah.
thing is this, right? With the way
yeah,
this Arsenal squad is set up, you don't necessarily need a striker that will come in and guarantee 30 goals a season, right? What you do need is a striker that can guarantee you maybe half of that, and then
15.
you hope, yes, and then you hope that the Gabriel Jesus can chime in on goals, and you hope that Kai Havertz can chime in on the rest. So Isak is a good mention there, but then there are other strikers that they just watch go around. Like for example, you could have gone for any of those forgive my pronunciation, but Dumbrick,
Correct.
Solos. You can even go for the likes of I mean, if you want to
Yeah,
stay in
yeah,
England,
I get what you're saying.
you
I got
understand? If you
you.
want to stay in England, you can be going for the likes of Solanke, you can be going for the likes of Ivan Toney. Like there are options. Even if Arsenal puts a proper bid together, they can go for the likes of Osimhen if they want to. But you just need that striker that's going to put that fear
I
factor
get what
in
you're saying.
defenders, and you
Yeah,
don't necessarily need
I
to
agree. I
break the
agree.
bank. And this transfer window seemed to have presented the most opportunity for those caliber of strikers. And you could have done that without breaking the bank because a lot of
And
big clubs are
Solanke
not
first,
making moves
yeah.
this season.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also think there's another another important statistic. It's only been in the last 15 seasons, only three times has a team won the title without a player scoring 20 plus goals in the league. So I think
Yeah,
that's where Arsenal need to target that player who comes in and gets you 20 goals in the league. It could be a wide player, it could be a wide forward or a centre forward or an attacking playmaker, but I think they need that player.
yeah,
I think
they did.
that's like we see if we see it, it's been Erling Haaland. There was a season the season Gundogan was the top
Yep,
goal scorer
Yeah.
in the league.
Rudigan,
Aguero in the
Aguero, they've always
past,
had those people.
Aguero in
Yeah,
the past. Liverpool have always had their combined efforts of Salah and
Salah,
Mane.
Mane, yeah,
Chelsea when
man.
Chelsea won it the last time it was Diego Costa. The season before that was also Diego Costa, Hazard as well. Those kind of players you need. I think and I also think my fear with Arsenal is probably in two players. If Saka and Declan Rice. These are two players who played serious amount of minutes in the last year alone, both for club and country, coming off a hard Euros, going all the way to the final, playing up. I think they eventually played up. I think Rice played every minute of it for most part of it of the Euro tournament. And if one of these players, because for large parts of last season, Saka was managing an injury that was reported to the fans, and I think that's where, if I'm asking for that as well, that's what my worry will be if something happens to Saka, even if it's just for a month or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then
Yeah,
you then start looking at the likes of Fabio Vieira, Reece Nielsen if he's still at the club. And I think that's where it's going to get problematic for them. And also with Declan Rice, you lose Declan Rice, you're looking at a military partnership of Jorginho and Thomas Partey or some form of that variety. Because what Arsenal have going for them, I think they've built their foundation. Like they have variety of defenders that can play. They can play different styles, inverting, traditional fullbacks, playing midfield, coming in. They have variety, but I think when you go into the forward line, you see in midfield, I think they're quite thin in those positions. But also, I think what's also been encouraging from the voices at Aston has been the performances of some academy players. Etienne Nwaneri and Lewis Kelly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And Lewis Kelly. I don't know how much they're going to contribute this season, but I think they've been very impressive during the
But
preseason
those
tour.
guys have been knocking on the door for a couple of seasons. There was the
Yeah,
They
exactly.
won
Cuba
the
at a
expected
point.
a lot.
Yeah,
Expected
Yeah,
there's a Cuba, Pom, and all of those. But the thing is
exactly.
that when it matters, Arteta is not shown the record to give those players that chance when
No,
it
no.
matters.
He
So,
wants to
so
win
and
now.
yeah, so
Yeah,
if
I know.
injuries will force that, it's a different conversation. I feel like also with these young players, they're not particularly dumb. They might be naive, they might be young, but they're not stupid. There's a difference when a coach gives you an opportunity because you've earned it, or gives you an opportunity because he doesn't have the senior players to call up.
Yeah,
All of
yeah,
those things will play in the psychology of these players too. Um, I also feel like with Arteta right now, he's doing a lot of things correctly, but I think this might not just be an Arteta's problem. This might be the board looking at it and say, the transfer window is quiet. Let's take the opportunity. Let's go get ourselves a midfield number 9 and get somebody to
No,
finish
I think they'll
chances.
get the number 9. But when they were
I'm,
offered
I'm,
15 million for Ketia and they rejected it, don't get me wrong, he's not worth 15 million. But at the same time, Wan Bissaka was signed for 60 million and they sold him for 50 when he was 26 years old. You have to be realistic.
yeah,
Like you need the money, you get the money, and then you move on. But I don't know.
yeah.
They kept him.
But it's also like another point in terms of us Arteta's journey at Arsenal. It's always been there's been this feeling of mismanagement of funds because I think about for a large percentage of his signings have been defenders and goalkeepers.
Yeah,
He signed Ramsdale from Sheffield for about 40 million or thereabouts.
yeah.
He signed him ultimately. Okay, he's not the one. You give him a new contract, and you bring in another goalkeeper right on loan, where it becomes your
But
first choice keeper.
and
Now
they had
it
Leno
seems
also, who hasn't done. He
exactly
didn't sign
yeah
Leno, but they
it's
had Leno also,
yeah,
who hasn't done
and
bad at Fulham.
he had
Then
there was Martinez. Martinez
it was
moved on.
Martinez again. He kicked out Martinez. Like I don't know.
So in his club, he's gone through about four goalkeepers. So I think two of them inherited, two of them he bought. Now you're in this situation with Ramsey where you're trying to either he has to go out on loan or you're expecting bids, but you're not going to get any decent amount of money for Ramsdale. This is a goalkeeper on over 100,000 plus a week, and for a second choice goalkeeper, that's an expensive goalkeeper. So you're going to end up in a situation where you Ramsdale probably goes out on loan to like a Southampton or Nottingham Forest or something like that. Then you then have to go into the market again to go get another goalkeeper. So it seems they've not signed enough forward or attacking players for my liking or for the fans' liking. On even the ones they've signed, they've always either been a bit too old, but not good enough to be first team regulars like Jorginho and Trossard, just good squad players, or when they signed the younger players like Fabio Vieira, he's not just of the level.
No,
So
yeah.
I think so. I think like they've Arteta spent a lot. If I not look at it, might not look at, but they spent a lot. So
yeah.
I think for them, I think it's a tricky season because imagine if they don't win it this year, and you almost get into a situation where you're kind of just,
What
just
United are doing, I'm loving what United are doing.
with,
But I don't believe in Eric, but I'm loving the signings.
I think the direction the club is going, you can see
It's totally different.
it's getting different, but it will get to a point where they also have to make hard decisions at United. I think we'll talk about United in depth sometime.
Later on, some other day, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
So
some other
but
let's
time.
just
let
one more thing before we wrap up at Arsenal, just to put it out there. I feel like in all of this chaos, something that has been going good for Arsenal is the lack of title. And here is why. Had it been Arsenal had won any of the title,
Lack of what?
lack of title
yeah, let's
has
Okay,
been something that has
yeah,
gone
yeah,
good for them. And I'll tell you why.
yeah,
Because if Arsenal wins any title, that team will get ripped apart by the bigger boys. people will go in and harvest those players. Say for
Feel
example, yeah,
No, but it's always
if Arsenal won the Premier League last season, I'll tell you for sure, Real Madrid would be knocking at the door of Odegaard right now to replace Toni Kroos, and
but
you
I still
cannot put
think
it you cannot put it past
I
them
get what
to.
you're saying, but the
I
problem I
understand,
have is
understand.
that Real Madrid don't like paying money. They knocked at the door for Tottenham, they didn't get Kane. They knocked at the door for Mbappe. They always want the player to be the one to make the move so that they will get. I don't think they splash that kind of cash that they used to
No, the
splash
funny
over
thing is you say they don't splash cash, but 150 million sign-on bonus from Mbappe is what? Splashable cash, I guess. Yeah,
That is kind of bonus spread across several years, so
yeah,
it's quite
so it's still, but
it's normal, it's normal.
it still
And
happens,
I
right?
think
Who says they can conjure a deal that can pull in an Ortega if they want to, right? And that's what I'm saying. If your players if your club go over that line, what I'm saying is
yeah,
that Arsenal is not using the opportunity that they have right now, which is, I mean, the team is not lifting trophy yet, but the team is in a state where it can attract talent. So you should be attracting the next best thing at the moment and prepare that if your bigger boys need to go, you can make him profit out of that. But that's not happening. If you pull out another guy, if you pull out a Martinelli or Saka out of Arsenal, we're talking
Saliba.
about a total different conversation right now.
yeah, yeah, I see your point. I see your point. But I think to be fair, I think there's a lot. I think I'm a big admirer of what Arsenal have done on and off the pitch in the last 2 years. I think it's one of I think it's testament for sustainability and patience in the philosophy of the coach, the playing style, because it takes this is Arteta in his fifth year now. This is Pep Guardiola in his ninth season at thereabouts at Man City. This kind of thing is like you mentioned Gasperini in at Atlanta. This is Gasperini's years into the Atlanta
Level.
project. It takes sometimes it takes a while to get the culture right. It gets to get the philosophy right in terms of the club, and ultimately get the right pieces you need to play the way you want to play. I think this is an interesting point for my fellow Chelsea fans as well. So yeah, they should listen to this part right here. Patience,
So let's go.
patience.
Patience. Let's go over to Liverpool. How do you see them next season, Fran?
Liverpool, I think I'll say, I think I think Liverpool, the king is dead. Long live the king. As in terms of Jurgen Klopp, this figure in Liverpool that's he's bigger than the football club itself. He's like a pope figure in the city. He represents the city. He breathes. He lives the city. It's so the football club has not lost a fantastic coach, but the city has also lost a fantastic representative or fantastic servant of the city. And it's going to be important to see how the fans get behind this team or this new manager as well, because it's well documented. He wasn't their first choice or their second choice initially. So I don't know if it's they have this like, you know what, we'll take it, we'll give him a chance. If he comes in, good. If not good, we'll assess in a year or 2 years, and they ultimately keep eye on the Spanish coach in Germany, Xavi Alonso. But I think with Ancelotti, he's very so far he's spoken a lot in the media and with other independent outlets. I like how he comes across, the way he speaks about. He's very clear about how he wants to play, his ideas, and I think he's embraced the reality of the situation, knowing he's coming to one of the biggest boots to fill football history. So, and I think it's that to be interesting to look at. But I think on the pitch there are several aspects where I think this is a very good squad Liverpool have. They still have they have an aging Mo Salah, but I think Salah's about how old is he now? Salah's about 32 years old, but I think he's still one of the best players in the league. He looks from what I've seen from preseason, the game against United, he looks fitter than I've ever seen him in a long. He looks fitter than he has looked in a long time. Then we have I don't know I don't know what to expect from David Nunes and Luis Diaz as well. They're quite inconsistent. But if Arne Slot can get, even if it's a little increase in terms of production from Darwin Nunes, be it goal scoring or creating chances, that's an achievement in itself. And they have they have good attacking players in midfield, but they're lacking a dynamic playmaker, that number six role, and it's quite clear because they went for the Spanish midfielder from Real
So
Sociedad.
they discussed themselves
Yeah,
with
exactly,
that.
and I think so far I think that's the only negative they've had he's had under his short tenure at the club, where you've taken your time. The voices from the club are saying we're going
They
to take our
leak into
time,
the press and then you don't
assess
get
assess we're
win.
going to take our time, assess the squad. We're not going to rush into transfers. They ultimately come and say, okay, we found where we need to strengthen. We're going to get a new number six, Zubamendi.
Zubimendi.
Yeah, you agree. You agree terms with the player. Ultimately, you agree to pay the release clause,
I
and
think that guy
ultimately,
is back bound.
he changes his mind. And you're stuck in a situation where this is not in the last two transfer windows or last two summer windows. This is not the first midfielder who's rejected going to Liverpool. If you remember back this time last season, I
Last
think to
season,
this day, last
last
season,
year.
Caicedo announced his Chelsea announced Caicedo as £100 million midfielder. He rejected Liverpool. He rejected a chance to go to Liverpool. Romeo Lavia did the same as well, rejected the chance to go to Liverpool. So it's getting to a point where it's not embarrassing. It's the nature of transfers, but it doesn't look good. Where you see this is players don't want to come to Liverpool anymore, or you could say whether it's agents pulling them to another club for financial packages or whatnot. But that's beside the point. But you've not been able to convince if you're three of the better or highly rated midfielders in that position in the last 2 years to come to your club. That's a worry. They have a few contractual issues to star players. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah, and
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, and I think that's business they have to sort out as quickly as possible. And yeah, and with Van Dijk is heading towards his Van Dijk turns 33 or he's already turned 33. Would he regress or would he keep the standard? And I think
Do you think they'll finish
that's
in
where
top four?
but Liverpool, I don't know, but I think they'll finish in top four. I think they will finish. They
They
have
have so
enough.
much firepower to
They
not
have
finish in top
firepower. They have that. They still have that Anfield.
four. Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
yeah.
that. They have Anfield behind them. And it's a very tough ground to go to in terms of how they suffocate teams, and if they're more controlled in terms of possession this season, I think it will be a different Liverpool we'll
Well,
see this season, because there've been a lot of players have come out saying, like Contagers has said, like they tend to keep the ball better this time around than what they've been used to. Because in the past it's always get the ball, go direct. They tend to control the ball, patient build up, more slower tempo. Then they hit you down with the pace up front with Salah, Nunes, and the likes. I think it's I would expect a good season from Liverpool, but also we don't know how things happen when the season gets going. It gets to those tough months, the winter months, November, December, January period where a bad result comes, another bad result comes. Then how does this new coach react to this to their new reality, and how do the fans react to their new reality as well? Because it's also important, because something again, it might take time. It might not be the same Liverpool most fans have grown to know in the last over the last 9 years. Might need a bit of patience as well in terms of getting getting the new coach comfortable in the club, getting to know him personally, and get that connection going between the club and the manager. Because I think what makes Klopp successful is his overall personality and how he took the fan base along with the journey. And like I remember when his one of his first games, they drew 2-2 to West Brom at Anfield, and he gathered the playing squad, took them in front of the cup, and they were celebrating. Not celebrating, but they were cheering the fans. It looked like they were celebrating, but they were cheering the fans. And at the time, it's like, oh, why are you doing this? You just drew at home to West Brom. But those little actions gets fans on side, and it builds that chemistry between the fan
well,
base, the players, and the coach. So I think it's gonna be it will be hard. But I think they have quality wise they have enough to secure a top four position. I don't know about title challenge, but I think top four should be okay.
Kingsley, what do you think about Liverpool?
I actually think it's strange that I have to call Liverpool the dark horses, but I think that if Man City sleeps up, Liverpool will be up there. And the reason why I say this is that I did watch a couple of their preseason game. I think I like the shape that the coach is trying to put out in that squad. I feel like this is the season we're going to get some explosiveness from side, and Jota is going to chime in with a lot of goals. Um, I also feel like overall, whether or not they get the number six, right? I didn't feel like Liverpool's success last season was as a result of a bad squad. I think it's probably a couple of things that happened behind the scene. Maybe Klopp was tired. For everything that Klopp represents to Liverpool, it's going to be a huge shock to the dressing room if he says he's leaving, especially without any controversy. So that might be something that might have affected the squad. And then right now, I also feel like the Liverpool management are erring on the side of caution. What do I mean by that? It's not unusual in football to see that when a big manager as the likes of Klopp leave your club, it's going to not just leave a void, it's also going to mean that you would want to be careful with where you spend your next couple of dollars, especially if you're doing it smartly. So I feel like with slots, what they're trying to do right now is to experiment without much financial implications and then save that money for an overhaul that might come next season with the likes of course, with the likes of Van Dijk getting a bit older, with the likes of contractual instability for a few other players. I feel like the squad will be shaken up a little bit next season. So, and we have the Robertson there that is not getting younger. Salah is not particularly young, even though he's still very, very much effective. But those kind of things would happen the season after, right? So hence I feel like the club is not going out there and, putting a lot of cash out. But I think they have enough, and I feel like Slot is going to do a little bit more with Darwin Núñez. I feel like it's very interesting when I think about Darwin Núñez as a striker. He has everything to excel. He's not just excelling. So I think I think a little more hands holding can get him there, probably get him a proper because there is nothing missing from the guy as a striker. If he has the height, he should be able to do better with
He
area
has the
threat, but
pace.
he's not. He has the pace, he should be able to get in behind. He's always cut offside. He has the shot power, he doesn't shoot enough. He has the placement, he fails with that decision. Like the only question mark I can say a little bit, even with his decision making, sometimes he does the right thing, but
It's
maybe he does
questionable
it
as
too.
well.
Yeah, so it's just I feel like if they've got somebody that can help uplift him, that is the to me in striking abilities, that has been the most complete striker I've seen ever in Liverpool shirt ever since the Torres left. Like Suarez was a great forward, but like I'm talking of proper striking abilities. So I still can't place why he's not, delivering and firing all cylinders. But I think that it's something that Slot can look to fix inward instead of going outside. With the flank man, right? I think Jota can play on the other side as well as Diaz. So they have that going for them. You definitely have Mo Salah. And I think Sobosite is going to be a very key differential this season. People should watch out for him. He's got a great technical ability. He can shoot in and outside the box. He can give you those breakthrough passes, etc. I think if he's applied properly, he should be doing very well next season. And of course, you've got the Argentine to control the midfield for them and to keep things calm there. So I think with or without getting that six, and if Liverpool consulted me, for example, I would tell them don't go to Zubimendi. He did the same thing with Barcelona. He flirted with the club as well and then made the decision to stay with Sociedad. It's becoming
He will leave later on.
he will leave. He
No,
might leave
no,
eventually. It
but
depends on
no, but
football. Nobody waits for you.
knowing
Me,
those
yeah, those
Spanish, not just
Andalusian
Spanish, but
players, they're
Basque,
yeah,
yeah, they're
Basque
very
and
No,
Andalusian kind of players. They
you know
don't.
why I feel he will leave. this is I've been hearing his name for 2 years. Everybody's still going to him. That means he's improving because at a certain time the person starts. So I think after the next season, he will just be like, I have to leave. And I'm 100% sure if his agent calls Barcelona and say he's ready to come, they will come for him. There's no, you can't say because you're mad at him, you won't sign him again. I understand that he should have moved a long time ago, but I believe that he will still later move on.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
because
might move.
I don't understand why he's staying back. They sold somebody this season. Is it not where they
Because he
sold
loves
Solo
yeah,
it's a
Solo was
when
local
from
they
boy.
Man U,
what
It's a
was
local
Solo?
boy.
Where did he Solo?
from
Where
Villarreal, I
did
believe,
Isaac come from? Was it
from
Sociedad
Real
or Betis?
Sociedad as well.
Real Sociedad,
Was
So
yeah.
was
so it's
Sociedad
not.
right?
It's, see,
Yeah,
the
so it's
thing
not
is
like
this:
they don't sell players.
Sociedad is
They
a
went
selling
Mikel
club.
Moreno. Where from? Is it not Sociedad?
Mikel
Yeah,
Moreno, yeah,
Sociedad as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So Mikel Moreno is
the
going to leave and they're telling Zubimendi to stay
no,
behind. Like
the
it's not
the
like you're
point
not
is
selling
the
anything.
point is not that Sociedad is not a selling club. The point is that some of the Spanish um come through the rankings kind of players, they get very attached to the club. It's the same situation if you're talking about of
But
the
they say
William
Sociedad is a very
brothers.
beautiful city. They say it's very,
No,
very beautiful.
San Sebastian is very. I think in terms of food and travel destination, it's one of
They travel
the.
this. I didn't know
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
before.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
that
Because
it's a very good city.
it's a very
It's
popular
a very
tourist location.
nice island. Very great living condition there as well. It's part of those kind of things that might keep you there as a footballer. But
Yeah, but I think to be fair, given the if you have the option of living in Liverpool and living in San Sebastian, I know I know I'm going to pick.
yeah, absolutely, I wouldn't argue with you
So
for that.
I
In the
think we
whole
have
of
to be.
England, yeah,
I think I was shooting a lot of bail in terms of that decision making.
yeah, yeah.
But and like like Chica said, like a lot of clubs have come for him. I think in terms of the data, clubs have crunched up the data, be comparing to other similar types of players. Like it was interesting. I'm looking at his like his stats compared to Fabinho from 2 seasons ago, Caicedo from last season and 2 seasons ago. It's quite and Tchouaméni as of Real Madrid. They're all quite similar in terms of what they do. Where they're very efficient passers of the ball. They know they cover a good amount of ground on the pitch. They win a lot. They win a lot of duels. They're not necessarily not aggressive. They're aggressive type, but they're very durable sort of midfielders. So I think if, but I also think in Liverpool, I think it doesn't look good, but I think you have to exercise patience and you have to trust that the club is in the right hands and till they proves otherwise in terms of what the sporting directors and the sport leadership group are trying to achieve. I think for now, in Liverpool, I think it's just important to accept where you are right now, understand, okay, just because you're spending money doesn't mean you're actually improving the team. And I think that's also an important point where with like fans, I think a lot of fans have got we've got lost in this euphoria of signing. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to sign, like because if you have a good team, you might need to replace a player here. And Liverpool historically they've gone down that path where they've taken that time to get the right, not just get any player in, but get the right player in where they're willing to wait and pay huge transfer fees for the right player they believe in, Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah's, Mane's, those kind of players. So I think from a Liverpool fan, I'll be very. I think I won't be panicking quite yet. I think I think there's a lot.
For me, Liverpool this season, I think I was thinking they will challenge, they go very far, but I think they will just challenge. They will finish in top four for sure because you can't have Salah. They have enough firepower to challenge, but this is where I have a problem. Them not getting Zubimendi, and they are telling me that they have enough players in the squad to replace Zubimendi. Who is it? Gravenberch? Is it Waturu Endo?
Otto Endo,
I
yeah.
don't really. I don't know. He's going to make a lot of match and make, and he's
There's
going
Curtis
to work in
Jones.
some games.
There's Curtis Jones as well.
It's going to work in some games, but in some key games, he will find out he needs a natural number six. So I think they'll finish top four though. But if I was them, they have a lot of mess to me that I should be. They need a left back. Robinson is going down. Tumikas, the Greece guy, is not all that good.
Yeah,
Renew
no,
Trent's
he's not the
contract.
level.
Van Dijk is getting old. I don't know. They need a lot of then. Diaz, I'm not really. I love Diaz, but watch him. I'm not really a big fan because he does a lot, but he doesn't score much goals. He doesn't give more assists, and I don't think he can improve on that. I think he is at his ceiling or he's overperforming. So I'm thinking after Diaz, they've made a lot of wrong signings. They spent 70 million on Szoboszlai. In all their signings, Szoboszlai is my favorite. I like the way he plays, but I'm thinking the goals are not coming. He doesn't get involved with the game or. They have a lot, but to me, this is
I
the
expect,
finishing top.
I think from supposed, I expect a good season this year. I think because they found
Yeah,
it
The
quite
finishing top four.
difficult. I think they
So
find it quite difficult to get in terms of the to get in term get or catch
the
up to
likes
the
of
pace.
Conte, Elliott will get better. They sold Carvalho. I thought they could keep him because I saw a lot in
No,
him.
come on, no.
Jota, I'm not hoping on Jota. You guys are talking Jota. He will get injured. He always gets injured. I
Yeah,
don't
no.
know. So
But
he's a
that's
clutch
he
player.
but
He's a clutch
but
player.
he's
that
clutch.
I have
With
faith
his
in him.
pace.
that's a good
They have a
finisher.
lot. They have a
Cody
lot.
Gakpo as well.
Yeah, no, the Dutch guys are I don't know, forward offensively, they are front stars. You always buy them expecting a lot. The area of Ruud van Nistelrooy and Suarez is gone. Let's go to the next one, Aston Villa. Frank, what do you expect from them? What do you think will happen with them?
I think Aston Villa. I think for them it's just going to be more of the same. Just more of the same. Just like Unai Emery was notorious last season for saying because whenever I think they were in the top around the top four, top five for large parts of the season, and they was always saying like the aim for us Aston Villa is to get to 40 points, get to 40 points. When we get to 40 points, then we'll see. We'll see when we get to 40 points. So I think he's going to play that same tune again this season. We get to 40 points. It's a way putting the pressure on other teams, also taking the pressure from the players that there's no because finishing top four last season was not a lot of people fancy them to finish top four in the league. So I think he's gonna try and divert pressure from the fans or from the club in terms of expectations, like keep a level head. I think they will try and enjoy the Champions League experience. So I think it's gonna be that's good for them. They still have on paper they still have one of the best goalkeepers in the league, one of the best strikers in the league as well, Watkins and Martinez. They have some neat and tidy midfielders. Another one's coming back from injury, Boubacar uh,
Come on, come on.
Kamara. They have McGinn, Jacob Ramsey, and the new signing from Everton, Andrew Nana. I think it's the player Unai Emery can take to the next level in terms of like what he's done for the likes
Good.
of Vicente Bora in the past, and Zozi in the past. Those kind of combative ball playing midfield types. So I think centre back Pau Torres is still there. There are a few rumors about Diego Carlos leaving.
Yeah, too, man.
So but I think where they've lost Diaby as well, who's gone to Saudi Arabia. But I think in
Mm.
terms of I think they're probably lacking in their attacking areas
They,
because they've
they,
lost Diaby,
they,
Zaniolo.
but they've done well in their transfers. They tried a lot. They had
Do you
Onana,
do,
Matson, Archer, Pilogin, Dobbin, Ilin Jr., Barankia, and then Barkley. And
yeah,
they lost
well,
Zaniolo and they lost
well,
Diaby.
question for you: do you think that they have a better squad this year around compared to last year?
Yeah, I think so. And
You think so?
I'll tell you why.
Co-
I'll tell
Yeah.
you why. Okay, this is why. Kingsley, hold on. This is why
Hmm.
I rate them very, very high. To me, I'll always come with the last one. I don't think they're making the top four. Think them out. I don't think so. I think either of Tottenham or Chelsea will make the top four this season. You'll be surprised with Chelsea. Chelsea has the players if the coach is really good and he knows what he does or he wants to do. Tottenham the same. This is why I don't think they will make top four. Villa will make the second round of the Champions League. I'm sure of that. They will go to
Yeah,
the
I
second
agree.
round.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
And it
agree.
will
I agree.
distract them
Yeah,
a lot. They will find it difficult to play the Champions League and play the league. It will
that's true.
distract them.
That's
So
true.
because of that, they won't make the top four.
Like Newcastle last
Yeah,
season.
Newcastle last season, yeah. But why I'm saying it is they had Onana. Onana replaces Douglas Lewis. Douglas Lewis is better, but Onana is better defensively. But ball playing Douglas Lewis is a way better player.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
now they have Matson, who automatically replaces the who's that? The French left back that Barcelona.
Lucas
Okay.
What
Digne.
was
Okay.
Lucas
Lucas
Okay.
Digne?
Digne.
Some games they
He
can
played.
rest Digny.
He played for
You say?
Barcelona.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, he played for
He
Roma,
left. He
Barcelona.
left because of Jody Alba. Didn't like left
Oh,
Yeah,
because
fair.
of
Oh,
Barcelona.
yeah,
yeah.
fair
Roma,
enough. Fair
Barcelona.
enough.
So now they have Digne. Martin automatically replaces Digne. James Digne cannot play, so that's automatic replacement. They have Archer, Pelogin. These are sport players. Let's go to Barkley. Barkley can comfortably come in for McGinn or whatever. McGinn, whenever in some key games they want to rest him. Okay, they're having Taure Mings back. Mings was injured for a long time. He's coming back. He might not play a lot of games. They're having Kamara back. Remember, Kamara missed nearly half of the season last season.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
coming back.
Yeah.
They have an Argentine central midfielder that was very good for Norwich. What's his name? His name starts with B.
Uh,
He played for Norwich.
Buendia is
Went
coming
there
back.
for like 1 year now. I didn't hear of him. He's
I
coming
I
back.
don't think I don't think he's gonna make it this season. I think he's gonna. I won't be surprised if they push him out.
They must sell it. Okay.
Yeah,
Then Rogers, who they signed from Middlesbrough, to me is going to get better.
fantastic. That's a
John
fantastic
Durant,
player there.
John Durant is going to get better also because he will have some games to play. Then,
Yeah,
so with this, they only lost Diaby. But if you remember, Diaby was no longer a first team player when they lost him. It was the
yeah.
Jamaican guy, the German Jamaican guy. What's his name?
Liam Bailey.
Liam
Leon
Bailey.
Bailey that replaced him for
Yeah,
majority of the game. So but Diaby came from the substitute bench and made an impact. So who's going to make the impact now? Maybe they have to play Rogers. Maybe they have to. They can always. Maybe Barkley is going to do that. So the point I'm saying is, and if you watch the way they play like a team. They have Paul Torres, they have Consa, they have Martinez. So they are well knit, like extremely good team. But I
yeah,
don't think they will make the top four again because Chelsea, this is where I think Chelsea has an advantage. Chelsea is playing in the Conference League. The league Chelsea play in, they are way substantially better than the particular league. To me, I might be wrong, but theory.
yeah.
Now,
They
and
can slip
they have the
their way through
squad.
that
They have the
competition.
squad players. They have the players to automatically rotate and still play the Champions League. So they should be fresher. The same with Spurs. But the problem I'm having with Spurs is do they have the bench? If I look at the bench, I can be having more. First 11, Spurs is very, very good. So I don't think Villa will make it to the Champions League next season. But they'll go fine. They'll make it. They'll finish top four next season. But I think they'll make it to the Champions League second round if they are in a good group, and which
Okay.
I think they should be. Frank, Kingsley,
Chuck
what do you
Kingsley.
Well, it depends on which group they put them in. I'll be
think?
licking my lips if I say via Barcelona or via um, and some other serious teams. Um, my point is, I don't think they'll make it out of the group of the Champions
No,
League
it's
for me again.
just one point. It's not they've gone to a new European format. It's no longer no
True,
group stages.
absolutely, absolutely.
It's
That's
a
true.
Swiss
That
model.
skipped my mind. Yeah, so yeah, true. So they could make it to the next round, given that fact. But also I feel like on the contrary, all of these new signings that you've mentioned, the roll call that you put out there, Chica, it's all leading to one point. They understand they need squad depth and they need quality squad depth because they're going to be having much more competitive games to deal with, right? So, and for that reason, I think Unai Emery is a very, if you check his records from the time in Spain and even when he had his experiments in England, he's a very consistent manager. I've never
Yeah.
really witnessed Unai Emery decline. It's more like he keeps growing, and sometimes he kind of outgrows the expectation, like he did last season. So if he declines this time around, it's going to be the first that I can remember, and that would be surprising. I think if any of the big six quote and unquote slips up, um, Aston Villa will be there to take that spot. And if all of these other big four continue to chase the continue to chase the Champions League or chase any of those European competition, that distraction might leave a window for Villa to thrive because that sport did not look like it regressed; it actively progressed. And on that note, I feel like yeah, Naomi's technical abilities, more time with this set of players. I remember Villa has a decent number of players that did not get involved in the Euros this season or did not get involved in a lot of club country football. So they'll be coming in, a bit fresher. And then I checked the fixture roster for Villa at the start of the season is not that neck breaking. So they might get an early advantage and they can build off that momentum. But again, like Frank alluded to, Unai Emery is always going to come and say 40 points first. Let's take it one step at a time, and that is
It's not
exactly.
what he's telling his players.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
like obviously he
it's
doesn't forget
message
that's
if
what
the
he's gonna
message is
say to media,
transmitting
and
out there,
that's the
so
kind of
it's
person he has always been. Unai Emery
yeah,
qualifying to the finals of Europa League without you, you know what? Let's just enjoy the moment of being in one final,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
he makes it there the next thing. So, oh, it's an opportunity to be in another final. Let's just enjoy the moment. He never comes in and says your favorite. He doesn't. And I think he's going to do exactly the same thing with the sport this year. It's going to be like, you know what, last season we overachieved, but let's see, let's just go in and enjoy our football and play very good football. And the interesting thing is that Villa did not get top four last season because they just kind of scrabbled through it. If I remember correctly, there was a time when they were somewhere sitting around, I think, top two at some point, right? And then before it became a two horse race, and then Liverpool joined and became a three horse race. So
Top to
they
the
were
league at the time in Christmas, around Christmas, right? There was a game
exact
they won and they won the league.
exactly. So it wasn't a situation of hey, we just snuck in and made it into number four. So um for that reason, I feel like they've improved, and I feel like Diaby is not a huge loss, and some of their injured
Yeah,
players are coming back, and the coach would have had more time with these guys in preseason. So let's see how that plays out. Top four is possible.
Oh,
I wouldn't say it's guaranteed.
yeah. I think I think they have the means to get to top four in terms of I think Emery is one of the best coaches currently in the Premier League, up there with Guardiola and Arteta and um like Sean Dyche, in my opinion, and Eddie Howe.
Van Dijk,
top
Van
five.
Dijk is going to make
Huh?
it in that list for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
think
that, but I don't like
Sean
his
Dyche.
style. For
No,
him to
because
have come to Everton and stabilize them,
no, it's not.
that's all I want. But I don't like his
It's
style. But at the same
no,
time,
I know
he did job.
it's not favorable, but you can see it's the manager that wherever he goes, he gives you that stability, and I think he's one of the positives with Everton, where the club with a lot of turmoil and off the pitch distraction in terms of their financial situation, ownership situation. He's in a way found a way to keep everything steady on the pitch, and performances have been quite consistent. And also, let's not forget they beat Liverpool. They won a derby last season. And I think to Evertonians that is as good as winning a cup.
Okay, maybe I say, yeah.
I think I think we can all understand. But I think Everton just divergently. I think they've done some good business this season. I'll be interested to see how they perform. Because I'm a big Sean Dyche fan. I like the way he's always. You can see how he tries to play. And there's a very I think he's a very forward-thinking manager, but he's not an attacking manager, as people say. But I think in terms of how they try to create chances, where they go long, how they build up play in different styles, not the obvious ways like Guardiola's Arteta try to play. But I think in terms of getting performances from players, there are few better than Sean Dyche in the Premier League.
The things I admire him, I respect his technical depth and knowledge, but I just don't agree that it's up there when you talk about the
No,
Pep stuff.
because
I mean,
it's
because I
because
don't
it's
even think Sean Dyche is is in the top six managers in Premier League right
No,
now.
he can't be in top six. So
no,
he's
no, he can't.
I'm
Like in
surprised that
general, he can't be tossed. But I think in terms of my bias towards, I think I'll put him in my top six.
but
I
he
can
can
put
be
him
in
in
his
my
top
bias.
eight. I don't know. The
Uh,
manager I rated I didn't rate, but he rated him over the years. He was right. He's Eddie Howe. I never
Oh,
rated Howe, but
I love Eddie.
I rate him
I
so
love
high
Eddie.
now.
I think
I will
I
jump
know
I,
at the
th-
chance for him to win jobs.
I agree,
I think
but we also
Eddie
uh,
Howe today is
he
my
rated him.
dream is my dream Chelsea manager. Eddie Howe.
But
the thing
another
is,
coach I rate.
I also love and rate Eddie Howe, but the problem I have is that we need to think about it. Some coaches are not like. Take for example Lopetegui. He's a good coach, but I just know he's not Madrid quality.
But
I've always
another
known
coach
that.
I rate.
You know, for
I find
example, Ernesto Valverde
yeah,
is a great coach, but he's not Barcelona quality. So there are
Yeah,
certain coaches that, if you think about them, they're
there's
good,
certain
but they're not just like maybe it has to do with the environment, it has to do with the stature of the club, maybe it has to do with the expectation of the fans. Something just doesn't take them to that elite level, and
yeah I agree
that
with
is
you there. That's a fair point.
another coach that I rate, but I find that people don't rate him. If I'm an executive or I buy a club this any year or whatever, I'm not buying him to win trophies. I'm buying him to stabilize and just be my coach. Number one is Thomas Frank. Of
Thomas,
this
big,
is this
big
is why I
team.
like Thomas. This is why I like Thomas Frank. It's not Thomas Frank is the only Premier League coach apart from Pep that I don't understand his players. If this guy is injured, the next guy he puts in, the team is still playing like
Thomas.
that guy was never out. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like,
Yeah,
coaches, when one guy is injured, it changes a lot. But
that's
Thomas
that's
Frank
that's
had
it.
like 4 injuries, and the same everybody still. I will never buy a player from him because to me, I'm not saying those players are not good, but there's the way he sets them up that they produce more than you think they are. But
Yeah.
the way he sets up his team, he's very, very good in that.
I think
Sustainably.
I think Thomas
Well, not
Frank
to win
could.
trophies. I'm not saying winning no trophy, but the way
I
he sets
think
up.
I think there's a big job for Thomas Frank in the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
on that page, I think is it should be it for Kingsley. Have anything to say to audience?
I would say it's interesting to not mention Chelsea in the title challenge. Very, very,
well well
very
well if
conveniently.
you, well if we stuck to the existing top four from last season, so there's obviously some no Chelsea today.
No,
Yeah,
let's
yeah, no,
let's
no.
shoot to the top four. Let's forget about
Yeah, I know. It's just
right.
interesting. It's just interesting. It could be as a result of last season. It can be a carryover to this season. Who knows? We'll find out. But it's just interesting that to sit on a show with two Hatfield Chelsea fans and not have them in the conversation for the title is very refreshing.
Okay, Frank, you have anything to say to the audience?
Uh, uh, thank you, thank you guys, and can you hit the like
Yeah,
button
forget to say hit the like button
if you
down.
like what
And then
you're doing. And thanks for the support. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a good
Okay.
one.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Stay
Yeah,
safe.
yeah, yeah. Like and
Okay.
subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe.
So, well.